So I really wanted to sit down and talk about some Asian authors that I'm excited to read, and I've collected some of the books that are on my TBR, and so I thought I'd sit down and share them with you guys and get some thoughts in case you guys are looking for some Asian author recommendations, you're looking for some interesting reads, or you've already read these books and I want to hear your feedback in the comment section down below. So let's go ahead and get into it. I will say, I don't have all the books that I'm going to mention in this video in hand because I'm making an effort to pick up books as I finish books, so I don't have just like a bunch of books collecting dust in my home. So they are on my TBR. I just plan on picking them up when I get closer to reading them. So even though May is AAPI month, I don't plan on reading all these books in this month. I read a lot of like different books year round. So I experiment with different genres and different authors and different writing styles and all kinds of stuff. If you guys have seen my Goodreads or like what I currently read, I have a very eclectic mix, so much so that I'm not even sure a lot of people can resonate with my taste because I don't even know if I have a taste. I just like good books. Anyways, now that I've got that out there, let's go ahead and talk about the first book, which is actually a book I've already read this month, but I did want to give it a shout out because it did release earlier this month and I really enjoyed it, which is A Taste for Love by Jennifer Yen. I did a full vlog on this book in case you wanted to hear more of my thoughts on this book, but basically this is like a Pride and Prejudice retelling in kind of modern day where you have the main character, what's her name? I already forgot, oh my god. Liza, that's it. I recall that off the top of my head, I just had to, flip through the pages to muscle memory. Basically, Liza's mom kind of made like a Date My Daughter style game with her annual baking competition because she's trying to set Miss Liza up. But there's some definite plot twists. It definitely got juicy at times. And I have to say, this is not like a deep book for me, but I did overall enjoy reading this book. I finished it in a day. And I also picked up some pork buns. So if you guys like eating/reading vlogs, I created one fully on this and I liked it. One of the next books I do plan on reading, which is Crying in H Mart by Michelle Zauner. I almost dropped the book. And this is actually a memoir. Essentially, the author is half Korean, half white, and she loses her mom to cancer, and she kind of goes through her life experiencing being Korean without like her direct Korean connection, which is her mom. And so I read some blurbs from this book. I even got emotional reading the blurbs because for me, I can really resonate already with how the author describes navigating through life as someone who has like multiple ethnicities or multiple cultural backgrounds. And so I'm trying to plan this book around a time where I can plan a trip to H Mart with my mom. So what I was thinking, I was going to do a vlog on this. I could tell you guys my thoughts on the book, take you guys along with me and my mom to H Mart, and then you guys can like borrow my Korean mom for a video. I'm trying to plan it so I can meet up with her, which is why I haven't read it yet. And I'm also anticipating having like a very emotional response to this book. So I'm trying to put myself in a good headspace where I'm like, all right, I'm ready for it. So this next book is a book that I know everyone is obsessed with. My sister actually, this is one of her favorite books, I believe, which is Pachinko by Min-Jin Lee. And it's basically, I think, about a young woman who has to go through the Japanese occupation or is living during the times that the Japanese occupied Korea. And so, yeah, it has a bit to do with like the social and cultural implications of that. I don't think from like a wealthy, family. She's kind of working class. So we'll see. I am not exactly sure what this is about. So all of those words I just spit out to you could be completely inaccurate, but that's my general grasp of this book. Again, I have a feeling I'm very I get wrapped up in my books, so it's hard for me to like distance myself from like especially character-driven books like this. So I'm probably gonna have to like emotionally prep myself because if you guys aren't familiar, my mom was born in Korea and actually spent some time living in Japan. So that sounds like a lot of what the main character in this book does. But I hear it's supposed to be really, really, really good. So the next books I actually don't have physical copies of, but I have them written on my computer. So if I'm looking to the side, I'm reading the titles of the books. So another book that I'm excited to read is called Minor Feelings, An Asian American Reckoning by Kathy Park Hung. And it's supposed to be like a collection of essays, memoir essays, talking about different experiences in, I believe, the United States, navigating being like an Asian American. Some of it will be angry, some of it will be sad, some of it will be like, again, very emotionally driven and also responding to the environment and what's going on. And with everything going on right now, I think I might have to put this off for a couple months so I feel better about reading this book, or I'm ready to read this book. A lot of these I'm realizing I'm telling you guys, I gotta like prepare myself, because it's not like I'm reading like fantasy or horror or something that like, again, I can like distance myself. It's pure fiction. These are like books that I'm like, that's bringing a little close to home. Yeah, I am really interested to read that and see how it affects me, in a sense. Is that weird? Like, I like to see how books affect me too. So another book I want to read is called The Vegetarian. It's actually a translated book, so it was originally written in Korean. The author's name is Han Kang, and I'm excited to read this book because I have no idea how I'm going to respond. I've seen very polarizing opinions on this book. It seems like some people really like it, and it seems like other people are like, genuinely WTF. Like, I have no idea what just happened or what I just read. And sometimes I have that like macabre or morbid, those types of appeal to me. So I don't know. I just want to see what I think. It's gotten like such strong visceral reactions from people that I want to see, again, like what my own strong visceral reaction is going to be to it too. I know it has something to do with a woman, I believe it's set in modern day Seoul, where she starts to have these like terrific and horrifying nightmares where she refuses to eat meat, or it provokes her to stop eating meat. What those dreams are, I have no idea. Okay, another book I'm super excited to read is called Arsenic and Adobo by Mia P. Manansala. It's supposed to be like a fun mystery book where there's a murder that takes place, and the person that's murdered, it's a little too convenient. So, you know, fingers are pointed, I believe, towards the main character of this book, and it happens in her aunt's adobo restaurant, I believe. So anyways, I really like, obviously, books that are heavy food driven but also have a great storyline, hence A Taste for Love, or For a Love Story, if you guys saw that vlog a month or two ago. So this is going to be another book that I want to do like an eating/reading vlog on. It's right up my alley because I love mystery/murder books. But it seems really fun and somewhat lighthearted, and I love adobo. Actually, when I was growing up, one of my mom's like signature dishes was chicken adobo, which is a Filipino dish, but my mom was really good at making it, and I remember she made it so often it got to a point where you're like, oh, Mom, chicken adobo again? Like, I remember thinking that as a kid. So now as I'm an adult, I wish my mom would make me chicken adobo because I think I'd have a higher appreciation for it. She doesn't really make it much anymore. I don't know why. That was a popular dish in my household growing up, so I'm excited to read a book that's kind of like loosely based around chicken adobo, or adobo, I should say adobo. I don't know if it's chicken. Next we have If I Had Your Face by Frances Cha. This is also placed in contemporary Seoul, or set in contemporary Seoul. And this has a lot to do with like the beauty stigma in Seoul, which if you guys are familiar, go ahead and check out my other YouTube channel, The Beauty Breakdown. I talk a lot about Korean beauty, mostly about Korean beauty. So I know a lot about the standards of Korean or Asian beauty in general. And so I am curious to see the effect that this has, or like how it's told through this story. Stay tuned for that. Let me know if I should do a full video on that, because I feel like my take on that might be a little different than most people's take. This book has been on my TBR for quite some time now, and it is The Henna Artist by Alka Joshi, and I have been dying to read this because I love historical fiction. And this is one of those books I feel like everyone loves, because not only is it like beautifully written, but the story itself is really powerful. I'm not exactly sure the plot line, and the reason that I'm trying to like leave myself in the dark a bit is because it's had such rave reviews. I kind of want to experience it with complete clean slate, so I am just gonna go into it, experience the book for what it is. Let me know if you've actually read that book down in the comment section down below, because I know a lot of people have read that one. The last book that I'm going to be mentioning in this video is a book called Folklore, and it is by Angela Her. And I'm excited to read this book because it is a bit of like magical realism combined with Asian mythology and legend. So you guys know my Folklore Fairy Tale Friday, which I realized I haven't done in a while. I am trying to get back onto it. I just have so many things going on in my life. It's hard to like sit down and do solid research because those videos are very research dense. It takes me a good like week like the whole week to basically research all the content for those videos. But the reason that I like those videos is because I have a genuine fascination with mythology, cryptology, folklore, fairy tales, anything that has to do with like cultural retellings of stories. I love because I feel like it has a lot to say about where the culture, country, nation, whatever is where they're at that particular time in history. You get like a snapshot of the way that society thought and thinks. So that's the reason why I like it. I think you can learn a lot about other people's cultures through folklores and fairy tales. And I'm excited to read this one because, again, it has the magical realism twisted into science-based character. So I think you're going to get like the clash of two worlds. So yes, I'm actually very, very excited, as I am with all the other books, to read that one. I feel like I've said that about every book. I'm excited to read it. Anyways, guys, those are some of the books that I'm really excited to read. I wanted to do a shout out to a bunch of Asian authors since it is AAPI month. And yeah, I wanted to celebrate a bit. So let me know, like I said in the beginning of this video, if you've read any of those books, if you have recommendations for me, your thoughts, etc. I'm excited to check them out. And as always, I hope you guys are happy and healthy. And don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe, share with your friends and family. Hit that notification bell, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.